So good to be here from outside the community. It's kind of inspiring to see you guys at work and figuring out all the things that we generally stumble over in energy systems modeling. Particularly Joachim, that was a great presentation. So I'm from the ETSAP community, and you go, what is ETSAP? So ETSAP is the academic slash consultancy community that runs the TIMES framework within the International Energy Agency. And within that community, I think over the last 6 years, we've explored three different options about moving away from or migrating our code times out of a proprietary framework into something else. So I'm at the last week, literally, of this project. So it was kind of nice to be here this week because I'm in Finland next week presenting the results of this. So it'd be great to get some feedback over dinner or beer later on. This might be a little bit too much in the weeds, but this is the same presentation I'm giving next week at our executive committee meeting. So going to talk through the terms of reference of the feasibility study of whether or not it's feasible to migrate times to Julia or not. Some of the things we learned by translating the code, structural differences, data structure differences to GAMS, what we learned, what the performance looks like from a prototype, what are the costs of migrating away from GAMS to JuMP, and then other things about what the community perceive it to be, what would need to happen in regards to validation and other stuff. But first off, what is ETSAP and what is TIMES? So ETSAP is the Energy Technology Systems Analysis Program of the International Energy Agency. So the IEA is the OECD energy watchdog based in Paris. And they now have an office in Singapore. ETSAP is one of about 50 different technology collaboration programs. It's been developing times for nearly 50 years. What ETSAP is this multilateral international agreement between governments basically to collaborate on energy systems optimization modeling, so techno-economic modeling, and it's then used for global, regional, national and kind of city level planning analysis and energy systems optimization. So from really small problems to absolutely massive problems. And New Zealand is a member, so is Australia, and lots of European, US, North American, and increasingly Asian countries are members. We meet usually in person twice a year and online twice a year. Our code is open source, but our stack, our UI stack is not. And that's something that we're very interested in changing. The backbone of the community is about 50 different national teams, typically in universities, so maybe 5 or 10 different people underneath a professor in a university, and then maybe 5 or 6 governments have the intellectual capacity and money to develop their own internal modeling capacity. And like other international organizations like IRENA, CAPSARC, the World Bank, other large development agencies also use times for their development planning, investment planning. Increasingly some banks are using it. And it's kind of validated over the last 50 years with lots of iterative projects, again at global, regional, national and city levels, kind of ironing out bugs as we go. There's a really close link between the modeling within the ETSAP community and the TIMES community and generally policy making. Increasingly trying to build capacity with governments to absorb the insights from TIMES models. And it's very long-standing. It's nearly 50 years old. We've like well over 1,000 peer-reviewed papers in TIMES. So yeah, it's battle-hardened, let's say. So on to the main reason of why I'm here. What is our motivation for migrating times from GAMS into JuMP? So there's multiple motivations. For me, it's open source. It removes a significant barrier to adoption within the TIMES community. I'll get onto the costs and the details of that in a minute. JuMP can do pretty much all the programming options that we want to do or currently do within GAMS and more, it would seem. It's open source, transparent, reproducible, which is really good for science and good for innovation. We're largely an academic and scientific community in ETSAP. For me personally, reducing the barrier to entry and attracting new, younger talent and vitality into the TIMES community is really important. I would say the average age of a GAMS programmer or a TIMES modeler is probably north of 40, which is not good for the sustainability of the community. Another thing, the motivation. So we did an initial feasibility study in 2017 before the big rewrite, and kind of came to some conclusions that it was the migration was feasible but wasn't as performant as we would have liked at the time, so we redid the feasibility study. And then there's things around the performance and the potential performance and the potential innovation in Julia that's really interesting to us, that I naively understand, so don't ask any hard questions, but we're very interested in what could be done in the future regards innovation, model coupling, and acceleration for really large model instances. Yeah, okay. So this is roughly what the usual TIMES workflow looks like. I'm just looking for a pointer. I'll just use a cursor. So still most TIMES modelers, it's kind of point and click. It's generally all our input data coming in large Excel files. Gets imported into a UI, Veda 2, gets reformulated into text files and DD files. That gets read into TIMES equations, it goes into GAMS, goes to our solver, and then comes back to this UI. But we want to explore whether we can circumnavigate GAMS, what solvers are possible, and also ideally also an open source UI separate to this, but that this would be a kind of a nice workflow going forward. GAMS recently have increased the prices for a academic or a commercial license. So for 5 seats, it's now $44,000 US. And the Veda commercial license for Veda, our UI is 9,000. So that's not an insignificant barrier to entry, which is a big problem for the sustainability of our community and just general kind of demands for transparency and open modeling within energy systems research and planning. Yeah, and so the first kind of insight that we're coming about from the study is, you can't do a naive line-by-line translation from the current structure in GAMS into Julia. It would need to totally go back to algebra and re-engineer the TIMES code to write it to be performant in Julia, in both in the data structures and in the code formulation, which is important going forward, how we plan to do this. So I think this is from Miles' paper, so it's not surprising that you're sitting here, but this is very useful to me explaining this to our executive committee about largely the different code structures and data structures, and just an instance that it's not going to be a line-for-line translation from GAMS to JuMP to get a performant version of the code of TIMES. So just kind of reiterating, this is our usual ecosystem. We've Excel files going into some sort of UI, so Miro or Veda. There's a data pipeline that goes into TIMES that then connects to our different solvers in GAMS, goes to our solver, then comes back to UI Miro, and then outputs our data files. And we can hopefully simplify this process if our future workflow, future ecosystem was in Julia. We could really minimize the number of data pipelines, having everything just in one SQL data frame, one UI and one code base, rather than having to hand data over and back between code bases, databases, UIs and solvers and back again. Just slow and potential for errors. So as I said, we had this previous migration effort before 2017. That was in MathProg, and then there was some tests done with the same prototype in Pyomo, and then more recently we've been testing that version of a really simplified times code in JuMP. But yeah, they were both Pyomo and JuMP were considered feasible, and what we've been working on is trying to accelerate the relative gap in performance that we see, and what we're seeing so far is largely our very poor writing of JuMP code so far is the main reason why we're seeing kind of performance degradation relative to GAMS. So it's not that we can't close that gap, it's just down to the TIMES community to learn better Julia coding. So collaboration between the ETSAP and TIMES community and the JuMP community would seem a pretty obvious future direction to go if we decide to do this migration. But also how data is structured in GAMS and in GDX files, and that's commonly used in GAMS, would need to be reconsidered as a major part of the migration, so that we actually get performant code and performant data handling. Would be very different how it's handled in JuMP compared to how data is handled in GAMS. So our final kind of near-term goals, we have some small model files, some small prototypes that we're using an open source UI, so Excel to Times. So it doesn't use Veda, so Excel to Times is basically a Python script that reads in our model files. We can then use this GAMS Python instance to send, or to call our Julia instance of Times, this minimum viable prototype, and then split our results back out to GAMS, or to GAMS Py. So this is our current testing process that we've been going through, trying to improve that Times Julia prototype. They have this very basic and small problem to test our performance. Some of the other issues that we've come across is just purely the costs, the financial costs. So GAMS, our ETSAP's GAMS CPLEX agreement goes back nearly 30 years. Probably doing this project might have raised awareness of that. So the costs have gone up. It's, as I said, from it's up to about $44,000 now for 5 licenses. It used to be about 10. So if we still want to use a commercial license like CPLEX for some of our really large models, like we can have models up to like 100 million variables, 100 million equations in some large instances, we'd probably still need CPLEX in the short term. And so I went to IBM to say, okay, well, how much does CPLEX cost, just so that we can have a bridge between CPLEX and Julia? And they said it's 100 grand per person, which obviously is too expensive. So iterated with IBM and came down to this agreement that we could embed CPLEX within Julia, well, without access to any of the CPLEX Studio Suite or all the actual programming language that comes with CPLEX, for about 2.5 grand per person, which is roughly in the ballpark of what we're paying now. But that would then be, CPLEX would be embedded as a library that we would call from Times Julia. Yeah, I think that's okay. So we've had about 5 different roundtables within our community, within the ETSAP community, and some of the key things that came out of that is that if we go with this migration, we want it to be done quickly. Quickly is less than 2 years. Don't want to be, having a prolonged transition going on for 3, 4, 5 years. We have a very performant GAMS code at the moment, so what do we do with that? Do we pause innovation and just focus our efforts on bringing a version of Times Julia to the same level? So that parallel code development would be something we'd have to manage. would be really important for the community to have backwards compatibility and really strictly test validation to be comfortable moving forward. But it was also that being in Julia would help our community have far better practices around code maintenance and version control. Right now we have one extremely smart gatekeeper, but all the kind of model innovation goes through him, whereas it'd be far better if we had a distributed code maintenance and followed better practice on GitHub flow processes. GAMS Pi, so this Python wrapper that could send times to GAMS is also seen as a nice stepping stone. The professionally, the GAMS group want to rewrite times into Python, which will then be far easier to translate that version of times into Julia, we think. And then, we've had other conversations with Jesse Jenkins in Princeton, with the Siena crowd, with Spinopt, Gensis Mod, and a few other folks who have used both Times type frameworks into Julia and other GAMS type models into Julia to try to understand what the best migration process is. One of the things, is one of the important things for this migration, if we start it, is who's going to do it and where are they going to come from. So, we have this the user base or the potential labor force is much larger in Python, but there's probably stronger and more focused energy folks in the JuMP community than there is in general in the Python community, is what we've kind of come to believe through talking to various folks. So the next steps for the project is we need to figure out whether those kind of costs for embedding Cplex within Julia is acceptable enough, whether we can get that agreement with IBM. Need to figure out how much that migration will actually cost. It's kind of how long is a piece of string. If you have 4 or 5 really smart people working full time for 3 or 4 or 2 years, is that doable? Is it somewhere like between 600 grand and 1.8 million? We're not really sure. And I've to figure that out in the next 5 or 6 days and then explain that to the ETSAP executive committee meeting in Helsinki next week. So any of the gaps in that presentation or in our logic, it'd be great to either have questions and answers now or over dinner and beer later on. Please come up and have a chat. And part of the reason coming here is just to get a sense of the community, and it's I think feels pretty aligned with the Times community, so it'd be nice to have strong collaboration going forward. That's everything for me.